Today I am going to explain the horror and mystery movie Polaroid, released in the year 2019. The movie is about a girl who has a love for antiques, and then one fine day she finds an old model camera. It turns her life upside down when she realizes what happens when she takes a picture through her camera. Watch the full recap to find out more, and don't forget to subscribe to get notified about our next thriller recap. The movie begins with two friends, Sarah and Linda, who are checking out Sarah's mother's old belongings. Sarah's mother has passed away, so she is looking through her mother's things to relive her memories. An old camera is found in that stuff, as is a photo of Sarah's mother taken with the same camera, which she believes to be a photo taken just before her mother died. At Linda's request, Sarah also takes a special photo for her boyfriend with the same camera. After Linda leaves, Sarah locks the door to her house. Then she hears the weird noise of the old camera. She thought it might be Linda, but there was no one else in the house. When she comes to check the camera in the room, she sees her picture again. There is now a shadow in this image that was not there not long ago. Suddenly, the house light goes off, and she hears some voices from the attic. She goes there to check, only to be attacked by something hideous. Meanwhile, she thunders down from there. Then we see something, lift it back up, and throw it back down. With that, the screen goes black. In the next scene, we see a girl named Bird Fitcher, who is a high school student and wants to be a reporter. Bird works in an antique shop. She is in the shop fixing a pocket watch when her friend Tyler, who also works here, comes in and tells Bird that he bought her something from a yard sale that she would like. When Bird sees the gift, it is the same old camera. Bird is overjoyed to see the camera and tells Tyler that it is an SX70 model camera. She takes a picture of Tyler to check the camera. While waiting for the picture to appear, Tyler approaches Bird, which makes her nervous. She leaves with the camera and forgets the camera case. Bird comes home to find her mother getting ready to go to work. She starts taking pictures of her dog with her antique camera, but her dog gets scared of the camera. Then her friend Casey visits her and convinces her to go to a Halloween party that night. Bird has a scar on her neck, and she always wears a scarf to hide it. That's why everyone teases her, and she doesn't like to socialize. But Casey brings her a Red Riding Hood costume and tells her to get ready to go to the party. Eventually, Bird gets ready for the party. When they leave for Avery's party with Devin and Mina, Bird pulls Tyler's photo out of her bag and notices a blurry shadow in the photo, which she doesn't think much of. On the other hand, at an antique shop, Tyler is looking at pictures on a projector and sees a shadow moving through the pictures. Then he feels that there is someone behind the veil. As soon as he removes the veil, no one is there. Suddenly, the veil waves in the air and attacks Tyler. Party host Avery happens to be a fortune teller and tells them their fortunes by giving them cards. Death appears on Bird's card, which makes her very sad. At the party, a boy wearing a ghost mask keeps staring at Bird, and then he comes up to her and takes off his mask, revealing himself to be Connor Bell, who happens to be in her school. Bird likes Connor, but hasn't told him about it yet. During the conversation, Bird shows Connor her camera, then Devin and Mina arrive and start taking a selfie with Connor. The three can't get the angle right, so Bird asks them if she can take a picture of them with her camera. As she is taking the picture, Casey also comes into the frame, and the camera captures a group photo of the four of them. Avery approaches Bird and takes a selfie with the same camera. Then the police arrive, and Bird is taken to the police station for interrogation. Sheriff Pembroke questions Bird about Tyler. When Bird asks why he is asking her all of this, the sheriff explains that Tyler is dead. Bird gets very sad hearing this. At night, Bird sees a picture of Tyler, and the blur has disappeared and the picture is completely clear. When she sees Avery's picture, there is the exact same shadow. She tries to call Avery to tell her about it, but then decides to postpone it and falls asleep. Avery, on the other hand, is left alone at home after all her friends leave. She senses someone's presence and gets scared. Something in the dark attacks her. As she runs to save herself, she hits the bulb and falls. Then two scary hands grab her face and break her neck. The next morning, Bird receives news that Avery has fallen down the stairs and died. Knowing this, she gets very worried and comes to her room to check the pictures. The shadow that was on Avery's photo at night has now moved and appeared in the group photo of the rest of the friends. Seeing this, she realizes that all these deaths are due to this camera. She picks up the camera and throws it violently, causing Bird to receive a shock from an unknown force, but nothing happens to the camera. Seeing this, she gets very scared and goes to school. She arrives at school and explains to her friends that Tyler and Avery were killed by an evil force. She also tells them that the shadow in the picture is moving. Her friends do not believe this. Devin sets the picture on fire as Mina's hand catches fire as the picture burns. Connor tries to put out the fire with an extinguisher, but it doesn't go out. Bird stops the fire on the picture, which extinguishes the fire on Mina's hand, but her hand is badly burned. All the friends are surprised to see that the picture is back in its original state. They take Mina to the hospital. Devin gets mad at Bird that this all happened because she took the picture with the evil camera. Connor explains to Devin that they will find a way out of this predicament. Connor asks Bird where she got the camera. Bird explains that it was brought to her by Tyler from a yard sale, and only the camera case came with it. Connor thinks the camera case might give them a clue as to what's going on. That's why they go to antique shops. The police have prohibited entry there. That's why Bird sneaks into the store through the back window of the shop. While Bird is carrying the case, something attacks her. Bird gets very scared and runs away to save herself. As she is backing out of the window, her scarf gets caught. Connor comes to help her, and they both get into the car and drive away. Bird wonders why the thing attacked her when she didn't take any photos with the camera. Connor tells her that Bird's reflection is also in the photo, so she is also in danger. Bird calls Mina and tells her that the shadow has attacked her too, so they should all stick together and take care of each other, as they might be attacked at some point. Hearing this, Mina gets worried. As she gets up from her bed and draws the curtains, the shadow attacks her. When Devin comes into the room, Mina is not there. He follows the drops of blood on the ground and finds Mina's hanging body. Once Bird and Connor reach the hospital, the police are already there, as Mina is also dead. Devin gets very angry at Bird after seeing her. Bird starts crying and leaves. Connor, along with Bird, thoroughly inspects the camera case, where they find a homicide case note. They go to the library with the note to get some information about it. In old newspapers, they find out that in 1974, a teacher of their school tortured and killed 3 students and captured their photos. The killer's name was Roland Joseph Sable, and his initials are also on the camera. They think that this killer's demonic power is attached to this camera. That is why he is still killing children. After that, the 4 friends are sitting in a cafe and discussing all this. Bird tells them that when she was attacked by the shadow in the antique shop, she noticed that the shadow was affected by heat and light, much like the effects of heat and light on developing photographs. Devin is very upset about his girlfriend's death, so he is very angry. Devin picks up the camera and says he'll handle it his way. When Connor tries to stop him, the camera accidentally takes a picture of Devin, and then they see a shadow move from the group photo into Devin's photo. Seeing this, Devin gets scared and starts taking a picture of Connor with his camera. He says he doesn't want to be the next victim. To stop Devin, Casey pokes a hole in Devin's picture with a pencil, causing a hole in Devin's hand and causing the camera to fall from his hand. When Casey pulls the pencil back, the picture is back to normal. Devin and Connor start fighting, and the cop tries to free them, but Devin gets his hands on the cops, which leads to arresting Devin and taking him to the police station. Bird and Connor meet with Sheriff Pembroke and try to convince him that their friend's life is in danger. They also tell the whole story of the camera to the sheriff. Knowing their intentions, the sheriff strictly forbids them from going to Roland Joseph Sable's house at all, and if they do, it won't go well for them at all. They both then meet Devin. Devin tells them that the image of the shadow is now behind him, which buys them some time, and they need to do whatever they have to do to solve the problem as soon as possible. Casey goes to the school building and pulls Roland Joseph Sable's address from an old record and gives it to Bird and Connor. The 2 of them arrive at the address where Roland's wife, Lena Sable, lives. They both meet Lena. She tells them that the camera does not belong to her husband, but to her daughter, Rebecca Sable. She says that her daughter did not like to meet anyone and was a self-absorbed girl in her own world. But when they gifted her a camera on one of her birthdays, it allowed her to blend into the outside world. She also made some new friends in school. One night, the four friends come to her house for a party, after which they take some indecent pictures of Rebecca on her camera and spread the pictures all over the school. Rebecca could not bear all this and committed suicide. Roland was very saddened by the death of his daughter, so he decided to punish these four friends. Roland kills 3 of the children as punishment, but when he starts to kill the 4th, the police arrive and shoot him to stop him from killing the 4th one. Roland died with the camera in his hand. Lena shows them a picture and explains that this is the 4th culprit and that Roland will not rest until he is punished. Meanwhile, on the other hand, Shadow kills Devin at the police station. Bird and Connor find out that Devin is dead, so they call Casey to warn her and rush to the school themselves. When they arrive at school and match the photo with old school photos, they discover that the boy is none other than Sheriff Pembroke. The sheriff also arrives at the school and tells them that he warned them to stay away from all this. He is taking them back when Connor tells the sheriff that they all know what the sheriff and his friends did to Rebecca. Bird tries to take a picture of the sheriff, but is unable to do so. Connor grabs a camera and takes a picture of the sheriff. The sheriff knocks the camera out of her hand and tells them that everything Lena said was a lie. Those pictures of Rebecca were not taken by them, but by his own father, Roland. They were his good friends and wanted to save her from her father. They went to pick her up that evening so they could go to the police, but Roland found out and killed the children, and luckily Pembroke was spared. Rebecca could not bear the deaths of her friends, so she took her own life. The sheriff tells them that if they want proof, they can check the records to see that Rebecca died after her friends were killed. Bird and Connor are embarrassed to find out. Then there comes that shadow. This time, it appears in a completely monstrous form. The shadow picks up Sheriff Pembroke's photo and tears it in two, splitting the sheriff in two as well. Seeing this, the 3 of them ran away. Bird and Casey go into the bathroom and turn on the hot shower. That shadow moves towards them, but cannot cross the hot water. Both of them are saved. Bird comes to Connor, leaving Casey there, and tells him that if they can get a picture of the demon on camera, it might be able to kill him. The best place to fully develop this creature is in a photo studio. Bird takes a picture of herself with the camera, which changes the order, and the shadow leaves the others and follows Bird. Bird heads to the studio. In the studio, this shadow now takes on full form and attacks Bird. It grabs Bird by the throat, but Bird doesn't give up and takes a picture of the creature on camera. But her own 2 fingers also appear in the picture. Bird twists the image, ignoring the pain in her own twisted fingers. But this demon still tries to attack Bird, so Bird sets fire to the image, which burns the demon to ashes and also burns Bird's fingers. When these 3 friends look at the group photo, the shadow is gone. They breathe a sigh of relief that they are finally saved. The movie ends with Bird throwing the camera into the river. Overall, Polaroid is a great movie to watch with an amazing storyline, so make sure to check it out. To watch our next thriller recap, don't forget to like and subscribe and let us know in the comments section about your next favorite movie that you would like us to recap. Stay thrilled.